In the hills above Bradford, there's a story that doesn't quite make sense. There's no name, there's no history, no grave, just a presence. Welcome to Paul Vs the Paranormal. Tonight we're heading to Wrose in Bradford, a quiet suburb with a ghost that's been whispered about for over a century. Her name is Blue Mary, and she's said to haunt one of the oldest houses in the district, Bolton Old Hall. Bolton Old Hall was built in 1627, back when Bradford was still a patchwork of farms, mills and moorland tracts. It was the home of a wealthy wool merchant, the kind of man who built his house to last. Thick stone walls, heavy beams, a circular gable window that watches the village like an unblinking eye, or like the Eye of Sauron. And for as long as anyone can remember, people have said that someone else watches from that window too. A woman, a presence, a ghost known only as Blue Mary. Now here's the strange thing. No one knows who Mary actually was. There's no record of a Mary dying in the house, no tragic accident, no documented haunting. But by the late 1800s, the locals are already talking about her and blaming her for all sorts of mischief. Milk going sour, cows refusing to give, objects moving around the house, a coldness that settled in certain rooms even with the fire roaring, and always that feeling of being watched from the upper floor. In a 2006 article for the local newspaper, the owner of the hall said he's never seen Blue Mary, but he's definitely felt her, and so have visitors. How people describe sudden cold spots, a pressure in the air, the sense of someone standing just behind them, and the unmistakable feeling of being observed from the gable window. Some say she appears as a blue glow. Others say she's a woman in a blue dress, drifting silently through the upper rooms. But most encounters aren't visual, they're emotional. A heaviness, a sadness, a presence that lingers. Now, back in the Victorian era, the haunting was taken seriously. Enough so that the residents tried to ward her off. They hung horseshoes around the house, and they placed bottles filled with needles in the corners of rooms, which was an old folk magic trick meant to trap spirits. Now, these weren't Halloween decorations, these were genuine attempts to keep Blue Mary at bay, and yet she stayed. The name Blue Mary is interesting. It could refer to a blue dress, a blue ghostly glow, or the old idea of blue meaning sorrow, a woman who died heartbroken, a spirit trapped in grief, or simply a ghost tied to a colour that stands out in the dim light of an old hall. Whatever the reason, the name stuck. And so did she. So who was she? There are a few theories. A former servant who lived and died in the hall, a mill worker connected to the family who built the hall, a local woman whose story was lost over time, but whose presence remained, or, and this is my favourite, the Blue Lady archetype, a type of ghost found all over Britain, tied to old stone buildings and unresolved tragedy, much like any lady in any colour when it comes to the supernatural. But here's the truth, no one knows. And maybe that's why her story survives. So that's the tale of Blue Mary, the ghost of Bolton Old Hall in Bradford. A spirit with no clear origin, no confirmed sightings, but a presence that generations of Bradford locals swear is real. So if you've ever felt something strange around Wrose, or if you've seen that circular window glowing blue on a quiet night, let me know. And if you've got a haunting, a legend, or a local mystery you want me to cover next, send it my way. No, I've been Paul. This has been Paul Vs the Paranormal. And until next time, stay away from old spooky houses, please.